So we will call this meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. And let's see, meeting minutes, we have none. Immediate business, 23, 24 budgets.
Can I close that door just because I can hear the basketball?
Sure.
I won't pay attention. I mean, not that I won't pay attention, but I won't.
Anyone need one of these?
So first thing, Chris, it looked like the things that you corrected last time were corrected.
Not every single one.
Okay, so do you want to start there or do we want to do line by line? How does everybody want to do this?
Well, do we really need to do line by line?
I don't think so,
Okay,
but
think so
I just
either.
didn't know what everybody's comfort level. Okay,
I mean, we can just go down in order and do it sequentially with what Amber changed, because
Sure.
she's got it as yellow highlights.
Yep.
But I gotta tell you all, look in your book. Oh, good, like you're doing, because this is my version. So I had to literally get Amber's version at 1 o'clock this afternoon and compare it.
okay,
And I was doing it really quickly.
okay.
So the first change I could see is on the PA tuition.
Yes.
So, and Amber charted it out on that page, but the tuition rate is going to be $14,909.85. So that this is now the locked in number. Question?
No, and it looks like it's 153,
Yeah.
153 students.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing that I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then she's got the projected PA summary on page 20 of our booklet tonight. That's cool.
Oh. High school tuition. So, I did tell her it was 31. I have 31 eighth graders. I tell her that.
Oh, okay. So that changes that number.
So it really needs to be 31 students.
All that, yeah.
And the other question I had was, and I know we went back and forth, but last year we did have an extra student as a buffer. And I know we have the trust fund, but do we want to do one extra student for that, I mean, as a buffer?
I've always held, I think I was saying before that every time we get to the year end, we've always got surplus from tuition to other districts. So my vote is no, but my recommendation is no, but that's certainly not, I mean, you can throw it out as a motion and figure out what people want to do.
I mean, I'm fine with it as long, I mean, we do need to correct that number though.
Okay, so that number is, hold on,
So it looks like it will be,
it's just going to be an additional 14,000 equals plus 14909.85.
Needs an additional, correct?
yes.
Okay, so that's what I'll put in the notes too.
And then the default follows what the proposed is, so. Okay, everybody's good with that?
Yep.
Okay, so both of those numbers changed, cool, it'll flow down to the bottom line. And then the next change was the default question that I had on replacement equipment. So the default changed for AES replacement equipment, and then Amber did fix the default for ARD replacement equipment.
Chris, which lines in this?
Oh,
I know it's gonna be different.
sorry, so in this version, lines 142 and lines 147 had changes to the default. And that should be what you guys see on yours as well.
Yes.
Okay,
See.
40.
That's
2 and 147.
7.
And the reason why the default is that, because we have an approved replacement schedule. So once it's approved, then it comes into the default. So I kind of skipped a few, but I had said to Amber, I had questioned some of the replacement equipment up here for library, which was line 130. And then I had line 134, and I'm quoting new lines, not old lines from last week. And then I also had replacement equipment default question on line 138. And Amber is saying, no, those are not going to be what was voted because it's not really on a multi-year replacement schedule. So therefore it has to go or leave as $1. And that's fine. These are smaller amounts. But, and I believe she said that when she was with us, that unless it's on an approved replacement equipment schedule, which we have done with the Chromebooks, then you just can't make default equal the voted just because it's not really an approved schedule. Meaning we could replace it or we could not.
Right.
So because it's so fluid on what you're really going to do with replacement equipment for library and replacement equipment for phys ed, she goes, you can't just make it default what was voted. Okay. And then, so that's two big changes. And then the next big change. Okay, so let's get down to line 219 and 220. So Mike, this question is for you.
Yeah.
So it's new equipment for special education. And so in the prior meeting, I had said, why isn't it the voted amount of 1,000? So Amber came back and said, if it's student specific, or if it's on an approved replacement cycle, then yes, you can change the default to voted. But she said, if this is just not student specific, or it's just a nice to have, you know, for one of the special education staff to get a new laptop, then no, she said, we can't just instantly make it default the prior year.
So the replacement, it's sorry, which one is it? Replacement equipment or new equipment?
It's new, lines
So,
219 and
New
220.
equipment is not part of a replacement cycle.
Okay, so
what
then,
we do, I would say it is student specific. What we do each year is project out what our anticipated needs are for our current students or upcoming students, say like the preschool coming up to
okay.
AES.
And is it what they use, Mike? So is it a, what do we have for the littles? Like a tablet? So is this a replacement tablet for
No,
them?
this is more, so this is not like tech equipment, although I guess it could be. Our tech equipment tends to fall under the replacement equipment line,
Okay,
and that's more of the replacement cycle.
okay,
The new equipment is more things along the lines of, it's kind of like supplies, but I guess you would, like when I've checked in with our budget secretary or with Amber in the past, they've designated as equipment.
okay.
So,
Yeah, and at this point, Mike, so proposed is 600. I was just questioning, do we have the default as 1,000? But if you're saying it could be any new equipment that the kids use, then it's a difference of $400. Let's just leave it at 600 to make things simple, rather than changing it to what the voted was of 1,000. Okay. And then there was on lines 272 and 273, that did change on the default. Can't remember if that was one that I asked about or not, but I just know that it changed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It was.
okay, so, yep, so
She has notes here, though. Says it could be argued either way.
that, we're not gonna argue about $150. We're gonna leave it at, we're
Didn't
gonna
know the
leave it.
number, I'm just seeing her notes.
Yep, so we'll leave it as that. And then scrolling down. The next change is on line 369, and again, that was a question that I had on what the default should be. And she did change that to the 371. And then the next change is on lines 441 and 442. And we needed to fix the salary. And I actually saw this in the last meeting and I didn't mention it because it is contractual. So this fixed the salary, the proposed salary. It was too low. It hadn't changed. And then the default follows naturally to what the proposed is, because again, it's contractual. That was, and is that in yellow on your side?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, so that was a change that Amber did. And then the next change. So on lines 546 and 547, we're now into the building area, so operation and building maintenance.
Chris, could you say the lines again? I'm sorry.
Sure. So lines 546 and 547.
Thank you.
These are replacement equipment for the schools. And I was questioning, shouldn't the default be the prior year voted? And Amber said no, because once again, it's replacement. It's not really a set schedule. I think this is just a matter of putting money in if something breaks. But Amber said, no, that's not allowed because it's not an approved replacement schedule. So the default stays at $1,000. And I'm okay with that. And then on line 597, I was questioning the default for the crossing guard, and Amber agreed that was an error, so it got changed to what the proposed was, because that is what we pay them. And then the next change starts at line 645, and I'm thinking Amber must have something. So the life insurance, disability insurance, the FICA, this all changed just by a little bit. And I'm guessing she just had more perfect information. Nope, she doesn't say anything about that.
It says, pertinent to the salary increase, this, wait, I'm sorry, am I reading the right thing? Yeah, so it says pertains to the salary.
Oh, yeah,
increase for
page
the
7.
Principal, it does not make it into the default.
Oh, yeah, so because we changed the salary, yeah, these all had to change. I got it. And so, yeah, the default I saw didn't change. Okay. And then workers' compensation changed as well. That's line 630, 663 and 664, and I'm guessing it's the same thing. Yeah,
Yes.
and 663 and
In our
66
notes, it
pertain
is.
to the salary increase for the principal. And that was it.
That is it, yeah.
Yeah, so that bottom line is now showing that we only have a 1.09 increase to prior year voted without the bond.
Zero.
On your sheets, it shows 0.97, but we just increased the tuition by $14,909.
Okay.
So now you're at 1.09.
One, exactly. And
That's
then,
still
Tight,
that's
tight.
very.
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
Okay, so the only thing that we need to discuss, because it will affect the bottom line, is the increases,
Right,
which we have to go into non-public for.
correct.
Um,
You want to do that right now?
we might as well, right? And we'll have the correct bottom line.
Yeah, so,
And then, I need a motion to go into non-public at 6:18.
so moved.
A second. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, hold on.